here with Fae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in to another soap making adventure. Do you remember I had made a soap using egg white? Wow. I had promised to come back and do an egg yolk soap and a whole egg soap, and today we are doing the egg yolk soap. But before I get into that, I'm going to make the indents for the soap, which I don't typically do on camera, and I don't typically do them with cold process, which is why I'm showing you this step. So it is the day before, and I'm going to whisk together this small batch of soap. I've already poured in my Lye Solution. There's going to be no fragrance or additives to this, just because they're going to be the indents that sit on top of the bars of soap. So let's give this a quick mix. Forget, I can also add in my colorant because it's all going to be the same color. So I've just added in some sunflower yellow mica. So here is the mold that I'm using to make the embeds. I came across this mold while standing in line at, where was I? And I want to say it was Joann Fabrics. It was on clearance in the spring. It was after Easter, and I thought, for the price, I think for like $3, I was like, I don't need it. I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I can't pass it up for that price, and I think I'm just going to buy it and, you know, have one of these random molds laying around in the pile of all the different molds that I have, more than enough that I need. But I came up with this idea. Now, I really wanted this to be more of a sunflower soap because, you know, we're looking at fall themed things right now, and I know flowers aren't really a fall thing unless they're like mums, but this is just an ode to all the different yellow flowers out there, whether it's a mum, a sunflower, a dandelion, or when I get to the fragrance oil, introduce you to a different yellow flower that I discovered. But there is no fragrance oil in these yet, so we're going with just all things yellow as far as different flowers for this. It's not really fall themed. I could say it's a mum soap, but the fragrance oil and the additive I'm going to add to the rest of this is just going to give me away, as I'm a liar. So I'm going to sit here and fill all of these up. I'm going to let them sit for 24 hours, and then when I come back, I'm going to create a little individual bars, and I will sit these on top of those. I'm also going to be using a new ingredient, and that is lanolin. I've never put lanolin in soap, but my new neighbors, she's been bugging me for a lanolin soap. Not really bugging me, I don't like using that word. Requested a lanolin soap. She is a big fan of lanolin. I have never used lanolin in the soap. I have never seen lanolin in real life. I've never used or made a lanolin soap. So that is what we're doing with this bar. This is specifically for my wonderful, lovely, generous neighbors. They're really great neighbors. Funny thing is that when I made that last egg soap, I talked about the inspiration from it came from a magazine that had a bar of like old school, I think it was like a Swedish soap that was made out of lanolin and egg yolk. So, I mean, how perfect is this that I'm going to make this for her with egg yolk and lanolin in it, when that was my original inspiration for putting egg in soap. Just a little bit short, but I don't even... No, I think I can make this work. I am going to scrape this out, and I'm going to make this work. I would say that is perfect. Alright, I will bring you guys back when I mold these and make the rest of the soap. So I have unmolded all of my little yellow flowers. I like them because they're all different shapes. So there's a couple different designs in here that could represent different yellow flowers, like what I was going for. So I have them off to the side. I'm going to make up the base of the soap, and there's so many good things going into this. You guys know I just go all out and I'm extra with my additives and ingredients. So I have a little bit of my oil I'm going to pour off into this bowl here, This is my egg yolk in there. Swirl that around. It's called tempering. Need to get a whisk over here. I'm like over exaggerating, I think, how you say yolk. Because I don't want to say yolk because it's not the same thing. And I know if I say it wrong, someone's going to say something. But I mean, I didn't realize I was saying it wrong anyway. Yolk. Egg yolk. Egg yolk. Funny word. Alright, so we're just going to mix that in with some of the oils first. Add that into the big bowl. Bunch of other things going in here as well, which I'm hoping all of these ingredients don't speed up trace too much here. This is not a fresh egg from my chickens, by the way. They are being a bunch of freeloaders and they still have not laid an egg yet, but it's like August 1st, so I expect that sometime this month one of them is going to start paying rent around here. I've also added in some goat milk in here. My lanolin is also already in here. I've added my Tessa silk and my kaolin clay and my sodium lactate. So this is what the lanolin looks like. So you can look at that. Kind of looks like earwax. Yuck. But it's really good stuff, apparently. I've never used it in soap before, so I had to do a lot of research. I'm also going to add to this some natural colorants for this base. I have some dandelion root powder and a little bit of that in there, and some sea clay or French green clay. Add that in there. And that is going to color the soap. So the base is kind of just all naturally colored. I'm going to go ahead and whisk this together. Well, I'm going to blend this together before I add in my lye solution. When I said I already had my Tessa silk and sodium lactate in here, it's kind of like not true. It's actually in my lye solution. Going to throw that in here. So all these ingredients plus the fragrance oil, I'm really hoping this doesn't accelerate on me, but it's going to be a pretty simple design, so I'm not too worried. So let's get this to trace and I'll tell you about the fragrance. Poured in my fragrance because look, I've got my gloves on now. I'm so unprepared today. I'm trying to do a million things today while I have someone watching the baby. I have gloves on, okay? I was kind of prepared. I had my goggles and my apron on, my hair up, but, you know, forgot the gloves, but problem fixed. Fragrance is called Wattle Flower. It is by Crafter's Choice. It has notes of fresh ozone, mandarin, orange blossom, gardenia, wattle flower, golden amber, clove, and sandalwood. It is a very complex fragrance. I'm struggling over here off to the side to get this piece of cardboard here so I can set my mold on top of it. I really thought this was going to accelerate on me, but just in case it changes its mind, I want to be able to like tap it down and have it on something sturdy. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring this into each one of these cavities. Now this fragrance, when I was looking for what I wanted to scent this with, I really wanted to go again with the sunflower theme. I know I'm just repeating myself here, but the last time I used sunflower fragrance from Crafter's Choice, it just seized my batter up. So I decided to go with this wattle flower. It was yellow, and I had never heard of a wattle flower until recently because Keely over at Soy and Shea, who is from Australia, made a wattled it's not a wattled flower, it's a wattle flower. She made a soap based on it because they are native to Australia. So I've never seen one before, but I thought it was a pretty flower. It was yellow. It's not like it smelled good, and I was just going off of her recommendation. She used something different, of course, because this is probably hard to get if you're over in a different country. So I'm just going to pour each one of these up, and then I'm going to stick my yellow flowers on it. I don't think I have enough to fill that one up. I'm just going to go back over. Look, my calculations were wrong. I'm just going gonna go back over and fill out these cavities a little bit more. I'm gonna let it sit so that it just kind of firms up after I scrape out this bowl. And then I'm going to put the flowers on here so that they don't sink to the bottom. Let's place our yellow flowers on here. So lanolin, I did a little research because I wasn't quite sure what it was or how to use it in soap. I put 3% of my total oils. 3% of my total oil is what I used for how much lanolin to put in. So it was only like 1 ounce of it went into my batter. It's great for skin apparently if you want to look up all the different reasonings for putting it into things. I've heard it's great in lotions and in shave bars, shaving soap type of bars. I've never used it, and apparently it's really good if you just put it directly on your skin. Alright. One more thing I'm going to do to this is I'm going to get some green batter and I'm going to pipe some leaves on the sides of each one of these flowers. So lanolin is derived again from sheep's wool and it is extracted. I'm deciding how I want to do these leaves. Do I want them to kind of, I think I like that. It is derived when the sheep is sheared and the wool is washed. And it's extracted from that. It kind of looks like earwax, but I mean, it's what the sheep use to keep their fur coats, their wool coats, waterproof. It also goes by names like wool wax or wool yolk, wool grease, and it's exactly what it reminds me of. It's like a wax. So, fun facts about lanolin. That is where it comes from. But no sheep are hurt in the making of the lanolin. It just comes from when you shear their wool, which I love a good wool throw. When I was in Ireland, my obsession was this place called Avoca. They had these weaved wool, like plaid throws, and I came home with so many of them. They're so expensive too, but it's like the best gift and the best blanket to just cozy up with. Alright, I am going to let these sit. I didn't really get the leaf shape I wanted out of that, but I'm going to let these sit for 24 hours and I will come back and unmold them and show you guys what it looks like. Not much going on the inside, but they're super pretty. I think I even want to go and add some on other corners. Maybe we'll just do a leaf on every side because I'm extra. And I have all this icing. I did do 2 batches of these, so I will need at least most of this frosting, so that's fine. Alright, I will bring you guys back in 24 hours. Alright, let's unmold a few of these. I think they turned out to be so pretty. Perfect, I love the way they look. Close up, work, there we go. Look how cool is that? And they smell good. It's a very light scent, but it smells really good. And then it smells also a little earthy with the clay that I used in there and the dandelion root. So I just love how these turned out. I'm tempted to keep one for myself, which I try not to do because between all the soaps that I make to try, the samples, the end pieces, and the favorites that I pick out of the soaps that I make, I also get soaps from other soap makers, and I just have this shelf of all the soaps on display that I'm like, I will never get to all of these soaps. So maybe I'll keep one. I don't know. I'm gonna give one to my neighbor. I'll probably give 2 to my neighbor just because I love her that much and get her opinion on it. And then if she's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, maybe I'll just keep one for myself. But if you would like one, they will be available on September 29th. That is the fall soap release date. All these fall soaps, themed, inspired, autumn soaps will be released on September 29th. So mark your calendars. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. And if you are new and haven't done so already, think about subscribing. Join me for more fun soap making adventures. Get in there. Yay. Any questions or comments, you can leave them for me in the comment section down below. And until next time, I hope you have a very nice day, and I will smell you later.